we can get into another big SEC matchup. This one had number 6 Alabama going into Death Valley of number 10 LSU, and this one was an exciting game. It was a more close game, more
Nah,
well balanced, a lot more action, a lot more thrills involved, and
just
you know,
gutsy calls all around.
yeah, and this was a game that when we previewed last week, I thought Bama was going to get the jump on them. Historically, Bama under this Nick Saban era has been able to kind of turn it on for games like this and really dominate. And didn't seem to be the case here, right? Bama has a few issues. Um, sometimes on the defensive end with some lapses. I mean, and look, they have great players, but
Yeah, they have
still,
great personnel, so it's not a personnel issue at all.
yeah, they're just something's a little off on the defensive end, and then on the offensive end, they're just missing an elite wide receiver. They've been able to find them or have guys step up in the past. Last year, even transfer portal with Jamison Williams coming from Ohio State. This year they don't have one of those guys. Their best offensive player besides Bryce Young is the running back Jameer Gibbs.
Then
And, they try to use him in the pass game. He'll catch some passes even down the field or, dump it off and be able to make plays, but it's just not enough. Jaden Daniels for LSU just played an amazing game.
yeah, he played great.
He's been kind of doing a little bit of this all year where he's been using his feet and really being one of these guys that everyone knows is a dangerous dual threat quarterback, right? They know that he can really hurt you when he scrambles and gets out of the pocket, and he could pick up yards. But he's almost like has this sneaky speed where people know he's fast, but he's still faster than they think.
Right, right.
And you will see it in games like I've seen games earlier this year with LSU where he's dropping back and then scrambling, and it's happening play after play after play. And you're like, oh, this team is not really finding a way to stop it.
Right.
And
So it's like you might as well until you stop it, you might as well keep going with it. So
yeah, and so yeah, he hurt them. This game went down to the wire, forced overtime,
overtime, yeah.
and then in overtime, Brian Kelly puts his big balls on the table, and so to speak, and goes for two. And they
And it paid
convert and
off.
they win the game. So huge call at home. Look, Brian Kelly kind of already cemented himself legacy wise in LSU, right? This is a game that those fans won't forget.
Yeah, you can't.
It'll be a big game for them to go and beat Nick Saban. To do it your first year, I
Yeah.
mean, it sets up pretty well for him.
What
And
a what a way what a way to like kind of come back from the beginning of the season. We talked about it earlier on in the season, and just about the whole factor with Brian Kelly not really going for it, not really believing in his guys, and him doing that. Forget about it. And then in that environment, it just goes to show it's like, okay, now you made up for it. And then on top of that, you beat Bama at
yeah, they
that.
beat Bama. They storm the field. They
Uh,
have the whole huge celebration. So
so it's crazy.
good for them. And the other obviously consequences of this matchup is LSU now takes lead of the SEC West from here on out. And so if they can win out, they don't have a super easy schedule to win out, but if they can win out, they'll
Right.
be in the SEC championship game against a Georgia. Um, if LSU loses the game and Alabama wins out from here, Alabama would then will be able to make that game. But yeah, huge playoff implications as well as Bama has
Pretty
um
much out of it, it
pretty
seems
much
like.
out of it. I mean, there can be some pass for them to get in. That LSU would have to lose a game. They would have to probably get into the SEC championship game, and then a lot of chaos would have to happen with the Big 12, the Pac 12,
Nah.
ACC, all kind of killing each other off. But barring anything like that, Alabama's kind of out,
Right.
which is crazy to see this early in the year. But That's how things go in college football.